Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss M, and I'm back with yet another video. This time, what am I going to be doing this time? Well, let me kind of preface this by saying I've been doing a lot of thinking. I've been doing a lot of researching. I've been doing a lot of reading, and I've been doing a lot of talking, I guess, online talking, with people like Tankard, Dr. Luke, and etc. about, of course, The Shining and all of the different stuff concerning The Shining. And, golly, have I got some ideas for you. So let me just kind of get right into it. And I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm hoping it's not going to be too long because I want it to be part of like a small series dealing with basically the symbolism that our Stanley has put into this movie that we all love so much, all of us Shiners. We love so much. Now, a lot of my recent videos have been about this movie. And yes, I'm going to get to Full Metal Jacket. Yes, I'm going to get to Eyes Wide Shut. Yes, I'm going to, do some more Kill Bill and etc., etc. But for some freaking reason that I cannot explain, I just can't explain it. I feel like I've been making a lot of breakthroughs. I've been making some strides with regard to deciphering Stanley's movie, you know. Um, and I think, partially I need to thank Dr. Luke, because in his discussion kind of thing that he's put up online, we were talking about so many different things, and it's a really fun little discussion group. But he and Dr. Luke, what I'm gonna present in this video is not something that I've spoken of in the, I think it's, what is it called, Slack? Is it Slack or Stack? I don't know, but we haven't talked about it there. We've talked about a lot of stuff. We've talked about a lot of mythology, because Dr. Luke, if you've been looking at his videos lately, he's been doing an awesome job of getting through Ovid. Okay, and Ovid, and then he told me how in reading Ovid he saw references to Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, the Big and Little Dipper, the bears. Remember the bears from Just Passing By, the big bear in the sky? Okay, and I said, because I saw the ladles behind Wendy's head in the kitchen, like in this scene over here where the TV and, Susan has been missing for 10 days, and remember her? Okay, and that got me to thinking about all kinds of stuff, and I'll cover that in another video, Dr. Luke, so stay tuned. You, Dr. Luke, and everybody, stay tuned. But today I'm not even going to be talking. I'm going to be talking only kind of indirectly about mythology. And I have come to, in my mind, I have come to the conclusion that our Stanley is doing something very similar to what Hunter Biden is doing in his paintings, which is, it's an exploration and a commentary on, like, the subject of comparative mythology and or religion. And that relates to, Carl Jung, and that relates to psychology, philosophy, religion, this, like, all kinds of different areas of study. So this is why I believe I'm an art person. Okay, I'm not a philosophy person. I'm not a psychology person. I'm not, I'm not, and I was not an English major. I didn't study literature. My thing is art. My thing is art, and specifically art history and visual culture. That's why I start out every video by saying, hello everybody, hello YouTube, hello art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. That's my thing. Okay, I read pictures. Period. That's what I'm into. And in order to read pictures, it's not really like reading text words, but it is similar. It is related. Okay, and I can talk about that at another time in another video, but um, the matter at hand today, and I'm going to have to do this in a couple of parts, is Stanley, our Stanley, really has done a number on us. Anyway, my conversation with Dr. Luke got me to thinking about a couple of things. Please check out, if you haven't already, I put this song up to kind of announce this video and introduce the subject matter that I'm going to be talking about. Yeah, it's Pantera. I hope you like Pantera. I love them. Mouth for War, lyrics on screen. Check it out. And I chose this song, number one, because it's like a really awesome song, and I love Pantera. Rest in peace, Dimebag and Vinny. But like, it's about war. Okay, what I'm gonna be talking to you in this video, and then part 2, possibly even a part 3, I'm not sure yet, is war. Stanley is presenting us with kind of militaristic symbolism. Okay, where specifically? Well, remember, wait, let me show you. These are some of the, I don't know how or why YouTube is trying to recommend Dr. Sleep to me. The nerve. Look at this shit over here. But no YouTube, if you're listening, and I know you are, don't be showing me this shit again. Okay? Like, don't do it. So let me just let me just enlarge this a teensy-weensy little bit, maybe even a little bit more, so you can just really see it. This is from my last video. This is from Part 14, Winnie the Sweater and the Bottomless Can of Fruit Cocktail, Understanding the Shining. I don't know why I put a period after the word cocktail, but never mind. And the word cock will play a prominent role in what I'm going to be talking about today. No, it's not going to be that kind of video, but you'll see what I mean. And no, don't get your mind out of the gutter right away. But what I'm doing here, look at this. This is the lobby of the Overlook Hotel. Okay? And this is where Jack is just acting a fool, throwing that ball around. Okay, and I talked about this is the circle in which Halloran dies, allegedly, and he's allegedly struck by Jack with an axe. And there's the Winnie the Pooh doll, and then he throws this ball down the hallway, and then there's these columns that I have been having trouble with. They've been a problem to me and for me ever since I started analyzing this movie. And I don't think that anybody's ever talked about what I'm about to talk about. I tried to Google it to see if anybody had anything to say about it. Couldn't really find much. And definitely couldn't find like what I'm about to drop on you. So there's that. And also, if you think I'm crazy, that's probably because I am. So, and I always am very open, very, very open to the possibility that I could be wrong. Okay? So don't be trying to get smart or whatever with me. I know I could be wrong. All right? I'm aware of it. And you know what? We're never going to get anywhere trying to figure out this movie and whatever puzzle Stanley has constructed for us here, unless we're wrong first. We have to be wrong first before we can be right. Let go of your ego. Let go of your vanity. No, this is about really exploring and turning ideas over and over and over in your head. Like I said, kind of like a grilled cheese sandwich. Just you gotta keep turning it over until it's done. All right. So anyway, let me stop with that. But like I said, I know I could be wrong. I know I could be like slap up the wall crazy. I know. Okay? I know that. But that's not going to stop me from trying. It shouldn't stop you either. So there's this lobby. And like I said, all the public spaces in the hotel. The lobby, the Colorado Lounge, the Gold Room, seem to have some commonalities. I'm just going to concentrate on this lobby because the lobby of a hotel, okay, and not just a hotel, like hotels are not the only kinds of buildings that have lobbies, like office buildings have lobbies, hospitals have lobbies. Okay, so lobby, that is your first introduction to the interior of a building, the inside of a building. When you walk in off the street or whatever, you walk into the lobby, and that is like the building introducing itself to you. All right. The outside of the building is like that's the external. That's what the building wants the whole world to think about it, you know. So when you get on the inside of the building, the lobby is your first experience with the inside of that building. And you can tell a lot by a building about a building by the lobby. You can tell a lot about a house, where just ordinary people live by the foyer, or foyer, or however you want to pronounce that word, doesn't matter. So this is like the first room that we see of this hotel when we start watching this movie. Jack drives up the mountain and he gets there and he walks through the door. He walks into this space, the lobby. Okay, so I'm going to be covering in these in this video and the next video, maybe the next two videos, I don't know. I'm going to be talking about these columns, the infamous diamond mystery that everybody talks about with regard to Stanley. And Stanley's movies, the diamonds. There's one here on the float, and then there's the tapestry. Well, I don't know what to call this. Is it a tapestry or it is just like a rug on the wall? I don't know. But there's diamonds on it too. And there's a couple other places in the movie where there's diamonds. I'm not going to talk about the diamonds here, but never mind. So I'm going to talk about the columns, the diamonds, and these damn chandeliers. I might need a video for each one of those things. Today I'm just going to talk about these columns in the lobby. Okay? Just going to talk about these columns. I know that sounds boring as hell. You might as well watch paint dry. But, if you're interested in this, if you want to figure out this movie, stick with me. All right? So anyway, these columns have been bugging me for the longest frickin' time. All right. Oh, and I'm sorry, one more thing before I get started. The columns, the diamonds, and the chandeliers, all related. They all go together. I told you Stanley did a number on Us. And he did it so beautifully. So beautifully. This man, I really, truly do believe that Stanley Kubrick was working in service to humanity and trying to teach us how to read the world, how to read the man-made visual world. I truly do believe that. It's a learning exercise. Anyway, okay, so like I said, columns, diamonds, chandeliers, all related. And I will tell you how and why in this video and the next probably two videos. Okay, so columns. These columns have been bugging me for the longest freaking time. I knew that he didn't just randomly put these freaking Z's on the tops of these columns in the lobby of the Overlook Hotel. I knew that these were not just random. I don't believe there's anything random or just coincidence or just cuz in this movie. No, probably every stick of furniture is there because he probably either chose it or signed off on it personally. I really, and the clothes, everything. So these freaking Z's and these columns, they're not red. We know how important red is in this movie, but these columns are not red. They're orange. Okay? They're orange. But the Z's themselves look red, but the length of the column, it looks orange. For those of you who don't know, orange. Okay, they look orange. And there might very well be a reason for that. Now I'll show you in a second. And I got to thinking, and I went on a kind of like a research mission last night. Couldn't sleep, as usual, and I just started looking shit up. And let me show you what I found. I hope y'all are sitting down, okay? I hope you're not working out or doing chores while you're watching this, because it might just blow your mind. So get ready, y'all. Okay, so Z's. It's the letter Z. It's unmistakably, let me enlarge it. Okay, these are unmistakably letter Z's, or letter Z shapes on the tops of these columns in the lobby of the Overlook. Okay? The top part of the walls, those are not Z's. They're something different. They're little spots or whatever, which also might be related, but I'm not going to really analyze those. I'm just talking about these columns. There's one, there's another one over here. Okay? And I thought to myself, I said, Stanley, what you doing? You know, what's up with these Z's? What is up with these freaking Z's? He could have chosen anything. He could have chosen anything else other than what's a shape that looks identical to the letter Z to top these columns. And then I got to thinking, and I said, what do we call Z's? Like, what are Z's? It's a shape, yes. It's like a zigzag shape. But there's another word. And I was just talking about that malarkey a minute ago. Okay, to quote our president. You know, Dr. Sleep, which they insult me by showing me that shit on my feed. They know I don't like it. YouTube, you know I don't like Stephen King. You know I'm not going to watch Dr. Sleep. Why are you messing with me like that? But Z's, sleep. Okay, hello. So I looked it up. What I said, why does Z mean sleep? So I found this, Grammarly. Thank you, Grammarly. And I clicked on it. Okay, what does ZZZ mean? ZZZ is an onomatopoeic representation of snoring. Okay. That's what we say, isn't it? Like, that's our colloquialism in the United States. Like, you know, so when you say I'm gonna go catch some Z's, that means I'm gonna go sleep. I don't know if this is unique to the United States, or is it like the English-speaking world, or is it just the United States? I don't know. Y'all tell me if you live or are from a place where they speak English, but it's not the United States, like the United Kingdom or Australia or South Africa or whatever, right? Do you guys say that you're going to get your Z's? That, you know, you're going to go get some sleep? I don't know. But anyway, Z's is an onomatopoeic representation of snoring. ZZZ is commonly used in comic books to indicate that someone is sleeping. It has also become part of the idiom catch some Z's, which means to sleep. I'll read this. It's not long. And I don't know if I'll read the how to use it thing, because I know how to use it. But have you ever wondered why people say they're going to catch some Z's when they want to go to sleep? Well, if you're into comic books, you might already know the reason. The meaning of ZZZ. ZZZ is an onomatopoeic representation of snoring. It was commonly used in media where sound effects were not an option, notably in comic books. That's where it got its association with sleeping, even though it wasn't the only device used to symbolize snoring. Okay, they put a person here with the Z's. Okay, it's unclear why ZZZ came to represent snoring. Henry David Thoreau was the first writer to represent non-vocal sounds with the letter Z, but he was writing about the sound of crickets, not snoring. Okay. So there's that, right? Then I found another page. I think that this is a website that sells mattresses, pillows, beds, bedding. Oh, okay. But that doesn't mean that they're not putting out some cute information. Okay, so how ZZZZ became synonymous with sleep and snoring. All right. In comics and cartoons, it's common to see a series of Z's, indicating an individual is sleeping. But when and how did the letter Z become linked with sleeping? Actually, ZZZZ is an onomatopoeic representation of the act of snoring. It sounds like snoring, or at least since 1918. Snoring and sleep became almost interchangeable in comics language. And this brought on a new agreed-upon standard. In 1918, the American Dialect Society, I didn't even know that they existed, but okay, in 1918, the American Dialect Society formalized it. And soon after, popular idioms followed, like catching some Z's, for instance. Over time, the letter Z became linked permanently to everybody's favorite biological imperative. In some cases, they'd use a tiny saw that cuts through a log, and both the saw and snore would make a Z sound. As time went on, however, this became linked with sleep in general. Okay. I won't read this to you. What's an automatopoeia? No, it's just a word that sounds like a sound, basically. Okay. History of Z's. You can trace the letter Z back to Henry David Thoreau's writings, Journal 1837 to 1846, whose writings reference the low buzz of insects, or better yet, the dry Z-ing of locusts. This buzz merged with snoring over the years, although it could have been the 20th century comics that really make the connection in popular culture. Okay, so why am I reading this to you? To let you know that this didn't start like yesterday. This didn't start in the early 2000s. This didn't start in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. No. What did they say here? Or in the other one, like 1918? Good heavens. Okay, so it's catching Z's has been part of the American like dialect, or not dialect, but like just common speech for a long time. Okay. Sorry, had to take a quick little break. But anyway, so the term catching Z's or getting Z's or whatever associated with sleep has been around for over a century in the American usage of the English language. But that wasn't good enough for me. Okay, now you can see probably why... Oh, no, that's not it. You can see why, and I'm going to be concentrating on this image from the movie more or less exclusively as I go through this. You can see why I thought of looking up catching Z's or getting Z's in relation to these particular Z's in relation to this particular movie, The Shining, because there's a sleep issue. Okay? We don't, like, I keep saying that the main characters, the family, Jack, Wendy, and Danny, to me, they seem like they have an issue with sleep. They're sleep deprived. Or something, Danny, with regard to Tony, Danny seems to be afraid of sleeping. And he says that Tony sends him messages and shows him things or whatever when he goes to sleep. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I looked up Z's and sleep. But and I said, okay, so yeah, that's one possible explanation. But that wasn't good enough for me. So I kept going. And remember, I don't know if you remember, but if you remember, I've said it a couple times. I said it in this part 14 video, but I've said it before about how this might relate to runes, and I've specifically mentioned the Elder Futhark runes, which I have now come to the conclusion that it doesn't really relate to the Elder Futhark rune. It might, but I thought it did, or I thought it could, but now I'm kind of leaning away from that and towards something else that I will show you. Okay? And again, this might blow your mind. All right. So, the Elder Futhark. I'll just read this about it really quickly. And see, as you can see, this is the one. Is it this one? This one and or this one that I thought. No, this one, the S. This, like I called it the Sonnen rune. It's not called the Sonnen rune, but it does relate to the sun. It's called Zovilo. But let me show it. Let me read this little bit for you. It still might be related a little bit to the Futhark, but indirectly. Okay, the Elder Futhark, also known as the Older Futhark, Old Futhark, or Germanic Futhark is the oldest form of the runic alphabets. It was a writing system used by Germanic peoples for Northwest Germanic dialects in the migration period. I don't know what that is, but you can look it up if you want to. I'm going to leave all these links in the description, by the way. But anyway, inscriptions are found on artifacts, including jewelry, amulets, plateware, tools, and weapons, as well as rune stones in Scandinavia from the 2nd to the 10th centuries. In Scandinavia, beginning in the late 8th century, the script was simplified to the younger Futhark, while the Anglo-Saxons and Frisians instead extended it, giving rise to the Anglo-Saxon Futhorc. Both the Anglo-Saxon Futhorc and the younger Futhark remained in use during the early and the high Middle Ages, respectively, but knowledge of how to read the elder Futhark was forgotten until 1865, when it was deciphered by Norwegian scholar Sophus Bugge. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Is it Bugge or Buggy? I'm not sure. Anyway, so you can see them here. There's, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 3, that's 24 of them. Okay. And if you scroll down on this page, you will see the rune and the transliteration and the Proto-Germanic name and the meaning. All of these runes, and I'm showing, even though I don't believe that the Z's, where is it? In the lobby, even though I no longer believe that it relates to any one of these runes, I still think this is a good lesson. So each of these runes, they're symbols, okay? They are in and of themselves symbols, and they represent a sound that you can make with your mouth while you're talking in that particular language. But each symbol means something. It means something from the natural world, or maybe even from mythology. So the one that I thought it was this one down here. Let me enlarge it, might as well. This one, see? And this corresponds to the S letter in transliteration. So what is it called? It's called the Zovilo. Okay. And what does Zovilo mean? Sun. Okay. And that's part of why I thought that these Z's were like inverted, backwards, Zovilo runes, because I thought, well, this all has to do with the sun, and it does. It does, but not quite that way. It might, I don't think that Stanley is expecting us to know this Zovilo rune or any of the runes and then like turn them backwards and like decipher the movie that way. He's not expecting it, like most of his audience, to do any of this, any of the stuff we're doing, like no way in hell. But I thought this might be it. I was wrong. Or at least partially wrong. I don't believe it's the sun or zonen or Zohilo rune. But let me show you the page. But I'm showing you this to show you how I came to my conclusion last night. This is where I started out, but this is not where I ended up. Okay, so let me show you the Zohilo rune here. And I'm pronouncing it Zohilo because, like in German, I don't know how to speak German, but I did take German classes in college. The letter S in German is pronounced like a Z in English. So there you go. That's why I pronounce it Zohilo. Zovilo, meaning sun, is the reconstructed Proto-Germanic language name of the S rune. The letter is a direct adoption of Old Italic, Etruscan, or Latin S, and their S is backwards too. Well, would you know? Ultimately from Greek sigma, it is present in the earliest inscription of the 2nd to 3rd century. I don't know what this is, Vimos and Kovel. The name is attested for the same rune in all 3 rune poems, and this is, I guess, how they did their translation of these things. It appears as Old Norse and Old Icelandic Zol, and in Old English as sigil. Okay, interesting, is it not? But again, it's just not shaped right. Okay, the Elder Futhark, it looks like a sigma, or a very angular S. In the Futhorc, or the younger Futhark, it looks like an S that has been turned on its side. And I said, does that look like this? I said to myself, Miss M, does that look like these Z's on the columns? And I had to admit to myself, no, it doesn't. It looks similar. It looks similar, but they're backwards. And then I went down the rabbit hole, and I even found like the Wurfsungel, or and from the Nazi symbolism, and that by the way, the emblem of the SS. I think I covered that in one of my videos, where I do talk about that episode of the Twilight Zone. But yeah, so the SS gets their symbolism from this. And I thought, okay, maybe Stanley's talking about Nazis. Maybe Stanley's talking about like the horrors of World War II. Maybe. That's still a maybe. But in this particular case, with regard to these specific particular Z's, no. I'm saying no. At this point, I'm a no with that. And I said, what am I going to do? I know there's something going on with these freaking Z's in this lobby. And I don't think we see them anywhere else in the movie. I've watched this movie a couple of times. All right? And some of you, maybe you've watched it a couple of times too. But I don't remember these Z's anywhere other than in the lobby of the Overlook Hotel. All right. And I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I know something is going on with the Z's. Well, I don't know how this happened, because I'm trying to look, like, what did I click on this page that took me somewhere? But I did. I clicked on something, or I Googled something, or I looked something up, and it ended up here. This is just the most basic freaking thing that you could find. I found the Wikipedia page for alphabet, the word alphabet, and what it means. I'll read it quickly for you. An alphabet is a standard set of basic written graphemes called letters, representing phonemes, units of sounds that distinguish words of certain spoken languages. Not all writing systems represent language in this way. In a syllabary, each character represents a syllable, and logographic systems use characters to represent words, morphemes, and other semantic units. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Oh, okay, I'll say this too. The Egyptians are believed to have created the first alphabet in a technical sense. Okay, the Egyptians. We're going to be talking about them like later on when I do more of these kinds of videos. Let me just pause real quick right here. My Understanding the Shining, hold on, let me go back here. My Understanding the Shining videos, that's just my John Maddening of the movie, where I look at the movie basically frame by frame. Okay, and when I'm doing my Understanding the Shining, I don't know how many parts there are going to be, but it's going to be a lot when I'm done, finally. I'm not trying to figure anything out. I'm just observing. I'm just identifying objects, item, things, colors, articles of clothing that the characters are wearing, stuff like that. I'm not trying to really analyze anything too much when I do the Understanding the Shining. These are mainly for the purpose of just taking a good long look at 3-minute segments of the movie, so we can identify all of these little things, kind of like, these Z's on the top of the columns. Videos like I'm doing right now, which I don't even know what I'm going to title this, or what the thumbnail is going to be, or whatever. Have no idea. This is like a little bit maybe more analytical. I don't know. But what was I saying? Where was I going with this and why? Oh yeah, alphabet. Okay, so I said, okay, alphabet. I don't know how I got here. Don't remember that. I don't remember how I got to the alphabet page on Wikipedia, but I did. And I read this and I said, okay, big whoop. I got here. I probably got here either from here or, yeah, alphabets. I clicked the word alphabet. Oh, there it is. It's purple. I clicked on this and I got this. Okay. And then I scrolled down a little bit and I was like, yeah, whatever. This is not helping me at all. And I know in my heart of hearts, I know that I'm at least somewhat dyslexic. I've never had any like intervention of any kind, but I know I have trouble with reading. I always have. I don't know how I got through school. I don't know how I got through high school. I don't know how I got through undergrad. I don't know, yeah, how I got through grad school. I don't know. Let me tell you what. I didn't do very much reading. The education system is a sham. I'm living proof. Okay. But I got through it and I got my degrees and what have you. Now, um, I was looking through this and I'm like, this isn't really helping me. Okay, alphabet. Okay, I know what an alphabet is. I know what a syllabary is. I know all that. Right? And that's what I was saying. I'm not good at reading. I don't like reading. I just don't. So, like, seeing Dr. Luke, like, get through the Ovid works, you know what? Good for you. Because, it couldn't be me. I'm more visually oriented as a person and as a student of whatever, now Kubrick, whatever. Um, so if I had to like figure out workarounds in high school, college, grad school. I had to figure out like workarounds to reading. I had to figure out how to learn stuff without having to read very much. Um, so I can get through things pretty quickly and I can go through something like this pretty quickly and find what I need there or find like not necessarily the most important information, for example, on a page like this, but the most important information to me and whatever my purposes are for using it. Okay. So, and then I looked at this and I said, what in the world? What am I looking at here? And this little picture here over on the right, it says the Phoenician alphabet with corresponding Latin letters. And I said, okay, yeah, so these are, Phoenician alphabet characters, whatever. And then I saw this Z and I said, it's a long shot. But why not? Why not? So let me just click on it. And then I did. I opened a new tab for the Phoenician alphabet, Wikipedia page. Right. So the Phoenician alphabet is more specifically an abjad. What is that? Is a writing system in which only consonants are represented, leaving vowel sounds to be inferred by the reader. Slavic languages are partially like this. Okay, but never mind that. This contrasts with other alphabets which provide graphemes for both consonants and vowels. Okay, cool. Anyway, the Phoenician alphabet is an alphabet known in modern times from the Canaanite and Aramaic inscriptions found across the Mediterranean region. The name comes from the Phoenician civilization. Who were they? An ancient thalassocratic civilization originating in the Levant region of the eastern Mediterranean, primarily located in modern Lebanon and Syria. The territory of the Phoenicians extended and shrank throughout history, with the core of their culture stretching from Tripoli. You know what? If you want to read this on your own, please go on ahead. But the Phoenician alphabet is also called the early linear script in a Semitic context not connected to Minoan writing system, because with the Minoans, excuse me, I'm being distracted again. With the Minoans, they're still trying to figure out their writing. Okay, they're still trying to. There's linear A and linear B with regard to the Minoans, and that's why they're saying no, this is not that. Okay. Anyway, the Phoenician alphabet is also called the early linear script in a Semitic context not connected to Minoan writing systems because it is an early development of the Proto or Old Canaanite or Proto-Sinaitic script into a linear, purely alphabetic script, also marking the transfer from a multi-directional writing system where a variety of writing directions occurred to a regulated horizontal right to left script. And Hebrew is still written that way. Yeah, it's from right to left. Y'all let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that one. But uh, its immediate predecessor, the Proto-Canaanite, Old Canaanite, or Proto-Sinaitic script, used in the final stages of the Late Bronze Age, first in either Egypt or Canaan, and then in the Syro-Hittite kingdoms, is the oldest fully matured alphabet, and it was derived from Egyptian hieroglyphs. Now, remember this back here when I was showing you this? Remember, this is why I love Wikipedia. Okay, look at this. It says related scripts. So the parent system of the Elder Futhark is the Phoenician alphabet, which leads to the Greek alphabet, which leads to the Old Italic alphabet, and then the Latin alphabet ? Elder Futhark, and then the child system of the Elder Futhark is the Younger Futhark, or the Anglo-Saxon Futhork. Okay, do you see how this works? Do you see the succession of these things and the development of these things? Okay, so I saw this alphabet, clicked on Phoenician because this Z down here intrigued me for some strange reason that I cannot explain or describe to you. But anyway, I clicked on the Phoenician alphabet. Okay, and I've had experience like researching this before. I've researched a lot of way out weird shit. Okay, so I knew about this Phoenician alphabet and the syllabaries and all of that. Okay. I don't know if you're ready, but look it. Look it. Now, it's derived from Italic, the Cyrillic alphabet from medieval Greek. The Hebrew, Syriac, and Arabic scripts are derived from Aramaic. The later is a medieval cursive variant of Nabatean. Ge'ez is from South Arabia. Okay, cool. I am interested in one letter here and one letter only. The letter that corresponds to the letter Z, which is, where are we? It's supposed to, Zayin. There it is. I think it's the 7th letter, which will become important in a minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do you see this? And the beautiful thing about this is what most of you, or maybe I don't know what you all know, but I didn't know it until I learned it. So maybe you don't know it either yet. So all these alphabets, all these letters, characters, whether it's Egyptian, whether it's Hebrew, whether it's Phoenician, whether it's Latin, Greek, these runes or whatever, they have equivalents across the cultures. Okay, so we're just dealing with the Western world here, so that's kind of obvious. But look at this. So these are Egyptian. In Egyptian hieroglyphs, it's this, and you can look this up in the Egyptian hieroglyphs page. There's Proto-Sinaitic, Proto-Canaanite. There's the image and the text, right? Yes, it started out looking like a uppercase I in the English language, but the text looks like a Z. The name is Zayin, and we will get into that in a minute. Okay, what is the meaning of the word Zayin? And I think to this day in Hebrew, the word Zayin means weapon, but a very specific weapon you'll see in a minute. And then we have transliteration, it's Z, okay. Then we have all these other languages that are, you get the equivalent for the letter Z or Zayin, right? Samaritan, Aramaic, Hebrew, Syriac, Parthian, Arabic, South Arabian, Ge'ez, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Greek, Latin, Cyrillic, Brahmi, Devanagari, Canadian Aboriginal, syllabics, Mongolian. Y'all, I think I hit the jackpot. I really do. I really do. Now, why is this important? I said, okay, so I got my Z. Okay, there it is. I got my Z. There it is. Okay, cool. Phoenician alphabet. Because okay, you're going to think I'm crazy. I said I have experience researching this before. Can I research the most way out? Crazy things. Ask Dr. Luke about some of my conspiracy theories. And one time me and a friend, we were Jeffrey Epstein and that building of his on that island over in the Caribbean, right? And people were talking about the markings on the floor surrounding the, I guess, temple building on his island, and I deciphered them. And I used the Phoenician alphabet to do it. If you want to know what I found that they mean, let me know in the comments. But Anyway, so Zayin, right? And then I clicked on Zayin. It has its own Wikipedia page. It's in the Hebrew alphabet. Okay? The word and the letter and the word Zayin. So it's the letter Zayin, and I don't know if I should call it a character or a letter, but I'll just call it a letter just to make things more simple. The letter is Zayin in Hebrew. It doesn't look like a Z. It doesn't, but it's the equivalent of the letter Z in like these, um, in the transliteration, right? Stanley. Okay, so the Hebrew alphabet, known variously by scholars as the Ketav, Ashuri, Jewish script, square script, and block script, is an abjad script. Like it says, it's about consonants rather than vowels. Script used in the writing of the Hebrew language and other Jewish languages, most notably Yiddish, Ladino, Judeo-Arabic, and Judeo-Persian. It is also used informally in Israel to write Levantine Arabic, especially among Druze. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I don't know everything. I don't know hardly anything, really. It is an offshoot of the Imperial Aramaic alphabet, which flourished during the Achaemenid Empire and which itself derives from the Phoenician alphabet. Okay, cool. Okay? All right? Now, that's all I'm going to read about this little, this overview section of the Hebrew alphabet. I'm interested in the letter Zayin. So I had to go down here and find it. There it is. Okay. There it is. I think you might notice something right away. Let me know whether or not you do. Okay. But so the letter Zayin, which is the equivalent of the letter Z in English and in Greek, the letter Zeta in Greek is in the in the Hebrew alphabet. So I said, okay, so what, right? What's up with this Zayin? I need to look it up. Well, the thing here, the Phoenician page tells us that the name of this letter here, also the transliteration here, the Z, is weapon or manacle. Okay, I don't know about manacle, but and in the Greek, this is the zeta, Z-E-T-A. Okay, in Latin, it's also the Z, right? And so on and so forth. Okay, so weapon or manacle. And I said, let me look up Zain, okay, before I get to the page dedicated to the letter Zain in the Hebrew alphabet. Let me show you what it looks like. Long pause. Okay, y'all. Let me keep going. Here it is. Zayin. Zayin, also spelled Zain, Z-A-I-N, or Zain, Z-A-Y-N, or simply Zay, Z-A-Y, is the seventh letter of the Semitic abjads, including Phoenician Zayin, Hebrew Zayin, Aramaic Zayin, Syriac Zayin, and Arabic Zain or Zay. It represents the sound Z. The Phoenician letter gave rise to the Greek Zeta, Etruscan Z, Latin Z, and Cyrillic Z. Okay. Meaning, the Proto-Sinaic glyph may have been called Zik, based on hieroglyph depicting a manacle. Okay, now this is when I said this is going to have to do with the word cock. Here it is. The Phoenician letter appears to be named after a sword or other weapon. In Mishnaic Hebrew, Zayin means sword, and the verb, I'm not even going to say it, or should I? Yeah, lezayin means to arm. In modern Hebrew slang, zayin means penis, and lezayin is a vulgar term, which generally means to perform sexual intercourse, although the older meaning survives in the Mavak Mezuyan armed struggle, Kokot Mezuyanim armed forces, and Beton Mezuyan armed, in other words, reinforced concrete. Okay. So they go through all of these: Arabic Zay, Hebrew Zayin. So check it out. All right. This is in Hebrew. I'm interested in Hebrew right now. So we went from where do we start off? We started off at Elder Futhark, and we did the Zoilo rune. Okay, then I said, let me just look up alphabet, because I just saw that word over here in the Elder Futhark, like sidebar. Okay, alphabet. And then I saw the Phoenician thing down here. Notice the letter Z. Very interesting. Okay, so with the letter Z, if you can see, or Zayin, it looks like a uppercase I in English, but it looks like they've just kind of slanted the crossbar, the top part to the right and the bottom part to the left to get, not what we now identify as a letter Z. But anyway, so I clicked on the Phoenician thing, found this, found Zayin. Okay, all right, and now here we are at the Hebrew alphabet. And here we are. This is the letter Zayin in Hebrew. What does it look like to you? Oh, for goodness sake, Stanley has done a number on us. Specifically a number 7, okay? Because it's, what does it say here? For the Wikipedia page for the letter Zayin, the numerical value, gematria, and gematria Zayin represents the number 7. Okay, and when used at the beginning of Hebrew years, it means 7,000. Okay. And meaning as a noun. This is kind of why Is this why I'm here? No. For the Mishnaic and modern Hebrew meaning of Zayin as noun, see above. Really? Oh, manacle. Again, no, I don't think it's manacle, but the Phoenician letter appears to be named after a sword. Look at this. Or other weapon. Why are they being so coy about this? I love Wikipedia, but it is not the final word on anything. Okay? Know that. The Phoenician letter appears to be named after a sword or other weapon. Really, Wikipedia? Really? And I already talked about like the sexual connotation of the word Zayin in Hebrew. Okay. And I mean, it's not me making this up. This is Wikipedia. So if I'm lying, then Wikipedia is lying. Or no, the only way I could lie is if Wikipedia is lying. Okay, meaning as a noun. So we already did that. And there's, okay. So they talk about how a lot of letters in Hebrew also have just meanings as a noun. Right? They're not just letters that are the building blocks of words, but the name of the letter is a word for something that exists in the world itself. Like Zayin means weapon. Okay. And so on and so forth. With the use in the Torah scroll, I will get to that in, I think maybe the next video. But before we get to that, I don't know how I should do this. But obviously, let me go back to this. Doesn't it just pretty obviously look like an axe? You guys. Hello, skis. Look at this. Okay, found New York Post. New York Post did a story. I don't know why they did this. Like, why was the New York Post doing an article about the alphabet? Or is it specifically Hebrew? No, not Hebrew. Not even just Hebrew. It's the stories behind the letters of our alphabet. And this is from 2015. Okay, so the alphabet, you think it's just like this whatever that you learned as a child in kindergarten, American kindergarten, if you're American, right? No. Just no. No. Where's the letter Z? It's down here. Yeah. Oh, that's I. Okay, look at this. All right. I'll read this to you. Z. Look at this. They even make it look like an axe. Z might be the last letter of the alphabet, but it's an elder. 3,000 years ago, the Phoenicians used a letter called Zayin, meaning axe. It looked like an uppercase I with top and bottom serifs. The Greeks adopted it as Zeta around 800 BC, when it evolved into our modern Z shape and also led to the creation of our G with the sound of J. The letter fell into disuse for several centuries until the Norman French arrived with words that use the Z sound. Okay, New York Post says it means X. I trust them. Okay, found another thing. This website, I don't know who these people are. It's called the Translation, whatchamacallit, good Lord. Translation Services USA.com. Okay. The word alphabet originates from the first two letters of the Greek alphabet. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for, right? I'm not looking for that. I am looking for the letter Z. Okay, WXY. There it is. Here it is. The Phoenician letter Zayin, which means an X, looked like the letter I with serif. Did the New York Post just copy and paste this from here? It looks like it. With serifs at the top and bottom. Okay, so basically they're saying the same freaking thing as the New York Post article. Okay, I want to show you one last thing before I transition into my next thing. I found this on Pinterest. Okay, Hebrew alphabet. This is what it says. Right, it's part of the. I guess is this like the Kabbalah? You were talking about that the other day, Dr. Luke. The Tree of Life, I think. Right, letter Zayin, gematria 7, meaning sword armor. We now know axe. Power Z, type single, astrology Gemini, tarot card the Lovers, color orange. Okay, I don't know where this Pinterest post. Like, I don't know where they got their information. I really don't know. Why is it orange? Why, whoever made this, like, why did they connect it to the color orange? I have no idea. However, did Stanley know about this too? Like, whatever this person is into, like, was Stanley into it too? Letter Z, Zayin, or the I guess Latin and or Greek version of the Hebrew letter Zayin is a Z. And then right beneath it, all these columns are orange. Is this just a coincidence? Have I completely lost my mind? I would not be surprised if I've just like completely gone totally batshit crazy. Nothing would surprise me at this point. Absolutely nothing. Even the deterioration of my own sanity. Let me know, you guys. Let me know what you think. Because if this is what I'm saying it is, okay, if this Z is related to Phoenician and Hebrew with regard to the letter Zayin, which means sword, weapon, axe, and this pillar in this room, these pillars, but specifically this one, is where Jack, we see, whether or not it happens in the real world of the movie, I don't know, but we see Jack jump from behind this pillar and attack and kill Dick Halloran with an axe. Okay. I don't know. I just don't frickin' know. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. You know? And if that's what's going on, like I said, I think Stanley is exploring, or was exploring, comparative mythology. So he's not, okay, so in this case, the Z, I think, could be connected to the Hebrew Zayin, which is, a sword, weapon, axe. Okay, and he's not just concentrating on like that part of the world, whether it's the Phoenicians or the Canaanites or just Hebrew, the Holy Land, or Judaism, the Old Testament, the Torah, the Tanakh. I don't know specifically what it's called. Like I said, I read a lot of stuff. But he this is the gateway to all these other cultures. Like I said, not just Hebrew, not just like, the Jewish religion or culture. There's Greek, there's Roman, there's Mesopotamian, there's Egyptian, there's Norse. Yes, it's related to the Norse gods too. He's like, I'm seeing like a little bit of everything in this hotel, except, oh, except Christianity. I don't know what to think about that. And I don't think, I think that if I'm right, and like Stanley is talking about all these like ancient mythologies and religions, but he's leaving out Christianity, I think he's doing it for a reason. I have an idea of why. He might be, if he is leaving out Christianity, he's leaving it out, the reason why. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe it's all over the place and I just haven't seen it yet. Maybe Danny or Jack or somebody is like, Christ-like figure. I don't know. But, something's going on, you guys. And this, what I just told you about the letter Z, the Zayn, the axe, and all this stuff is related to the diamonds. I believe that I have solved the mystery of the diamonds in maybe not all the Stanley Kubrick movies where they're featured, but I think I definitely have solved the mystery with regard to this one. And that's probably going to be my next video. These chandeliers, I might incorporate that into the diamond video that's coming after this one. Or they might, I don't know, I haven't done enough research yet, so they might warrant a video of their own, the chandeliers. Okay, don't forget, this all has to do with light. Okay? This all has to do with light. This all has to do with shining. Light. Shining light. Stanley is trying to show us something. He's trying to educate us. Light is a symbol of knowledge. Like I said, natural light is true knowledge. Artificial light is false knowledge. All right. Just because he's featuring all of these different cultures and all these different mythologies, that doesn't mean he agrees with them. He's just trying to tell you how the world works and has worked more or less since day one. Okay? That's what I think Stanley is trying to do. And he's doing an amazing job. He did an amazing job. So, I think I have solved the mystery of the Z's. Do they relate to sleep? I think at least partially. But what I really think is they relate to this. Okay? Because the axe, it's almost like a character in the movie. The axe that Jack uses is almost like a character in the movie. Like you can't get around that thing, right? So anyway, Zayn. And now, on the next episode, right? I've talked enough. I don't know how long I've talked, but quite a while. On the next episode of, I don't even know what I'm going to call this, but you'll see in the title. I'm going to talk about the diamonds. And that's where this comes in. Okay? This here, but we're still on the Zayn page. Now, scrolling down, it says use in Torah scroll. Okay, Zayn, in addition to all these other letters, is one of the 7 letters which receive a special crown called the Tagin when written in a Sefer Torah or Torah scroll. Right? So, what's a Tagin? Here's the Wikipedia page for it. I'll leave it in the description for you. This is where I'm going to start my next video regarding the diamonds. So I guess that's a little hint, isn't it? By the way, I should have maybe started off by saying this, but obviously I'm not very familiar with Hebrew. I can't speak Hebrew. I can't read Hebrew. No. Or Phoenician, or Greek, or Latin, or... I only know like 2 languages really, really, really well. And that's it. English is one of them. All right. So if I mispronounce something, or if I got something wrong, please forgive me. Please excuse me. if I made a mess anywhere, and let me know in the comments where and when and how I got something wrong so that I won't do it again, you know. Um, and that's about it. So, like I said, I think I solved the mystery of the Z's. Next time we're working on the diamonds. After that, we're working on these chandeliers. You might be surprised at where I'm taking this. You might be. Oh, and by the way, I researched Tony last night too. That's going to be another video. Oh, Lord. See, now I'm still going to do Understanding the Shining. I'm still going to do like frame by frame by frame in my slideshows. Yes. But I'm going to start doing more videos like this too, where I actually kind of analyze something. Okay? So, you guys, I think I'm done. I think I am finished. And I don't know what I'm going to use for my thumbnail. My goodness. My goodness. Not this. Not this. I'm tempted to use this, but I don't know. No. I'll probably just use a image from the movie, something. I don't know. Maybe one of these, the Phoenician alphabet, because that's where I got this. I don't know. But anyway, you guys, I'm overwhelmed with all of this stuff. So, y'all, mouth for war, swords, weapons, axes. You guys let me know. You guys let me know what you think. And I think I'm about done with this video for this time. So, until next time. Until I find yet another reason to talk at you, probably again about this movie, I'm gonna go ahead and bid you bye. Oh, wait a minute. Jesus H. Eugene Christ. I forgot to do my church announcements. New viewers, thank you for being new. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. Subscribers, all 401 of you, thank you for subscribing. I'm just over the moon. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you like it, or if you want other people to know about it, let them know about it. And that's that. I'm still working on all this stuff. I've got so many things that I want to put into video form. So just like bear with me, you guys. Okay, now. So now, until next time, until I find yet another reason to talk at you about something, probably Shining related, I'm going to go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye-bye, everybody.